Hola, comunidad. Estoy súper emocionada de estar con Dan, el creador de las Zonas Azules, un trabajo que he estudiado durante años, y le voy a hacer algunas preguntas que son muy importantes para esta comunidad y este proyecto que hacemos todos juntos. So, thank you, Dan, for your time and for your generosity.
I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. In the project, we really promote happiness, understood as long-term well-being, this ambitious idea of living a fulfilling life as a personal responsibility. You know, like it's not just gonna happen or someone can do it for you. You need to work on it. You need to build the long-term well-being. So what do you think about this approach?
Well, I agree with 50% of that. I think that it's up to you to be happy or not. You know, only about 40% of our happiness is genetically dictated. 15% is luck or lack thereof, but about 40% is up to you. I worry about personal responsibility because we've been told in America, United States, we've been told it's our personal responsibility to look after our health, and we just keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So personal responsibility isn't helping. What does seem to help, which I've found in my work, is shaping people's surroundings so that their micro decisions are engineered to be slightly better. And some of the ways that we know that social interaction, the more social interaction you have during the day, face to face like we're having right now, the happier people tend to report themselves. So living in a neighborhood where it's walkable, where you're going to bump into your neighbors, having a front porch instead of a back deck, and really nurturing a group of friends who want to spend time with you, that is going to assure happiness more than every day waking up and say, well, I'm going to remember to do A, B, C, and D. And we wake up and we forget, or we're tired, or we get busy with something else. Okay,
so in order to make those decisions to build this environment, don't you think there's also personal responsibility?
Well, I agree with you that it's in your control to be happier. And I guess it's there's a couple types of happiness. There is how we experience our lives and how we evaluate our lives, and it depends what you want. For example, sitting on going to a bar all day long may make you happy today, but it's not going to make you happy in the long run. So it's really important to understand that happiness is like a portfolio. For those people who understand investing, you want stocks, bonds, and cash. And you diversify that. When it comes to happiness, you have how you evaluate your life, how the ser, how you experience your life, the estar, and then your purpose, propósito de vida. And you want to know which things drive each of those three things, and then diversify.
Yeah, I love it. And actually, I think happiness is for the braves, because I'm thinking about this, making these decisions, surrounding yourself with healthy people, good relationships. Those are choices that sometimes you're afraid of making.
Yes.
Like having these uncomfortable conversations, or choosing to save the money instead of spending it. Those are like difficult decisions sometimes.
Yes.
And you need to be brave. What do you think about this?
So there is very good research by a Yale researcher named Nicholas Christakis, who showed that happiness is measurably contagious. If you're spending time with that old toxic friend who's sitting around bitching and complaining, you are going to feel less happy and more lonely. If you proactively, and this is where the personal responsibility or personal, I would say, power comes in, is to proactively surround yourself with people who you can have a meaningful conversation with, people who have a positive outlook, who are interested and interesting. And the big one is people who care about you on a bad day, not just when you're, won the lottery or, or buying drinks, but care about you and that's slightly different than this positive psychology of gratitude and savoring. It's talking about making changes to your medio ambiente that favorece felicidad por la plaza larga.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I totally agree. That's what we want, right? We don't want these just to be theory and nice information and motivation that stays with us 2-3 days or a month, and then we go back to our old habits, bad diet, bad relationships. So what would you suggest the people that is watching to do in order to bring that little change to a better life?
This is going to be disruptive, but statistically speaking, the most powerful thing you can do if you're unhappy is move.
Okay.
And we know this because when we follow unhappy immigrants from Asia and Africa to Canada, or from the Soviet bloc countries like Moldavia to Denmark and Canada are very happy places. Within 1 year, nothing much changes to the immigrants. Their sex doesn't change, their age only changes by a year, their sexual orientation, their religious, whether or not they're married, almost nothing changes. But in 1 year, they report the happiness level of their adoptive home, which often means a doubling of their happiness. There is nothing you can do. There's no Tony Robbins class, there's no positive psychology class that will double your happiness, except moving. So not everybody listening right now will be able to move, but we now know the things that you can do to shape your environment that stack the deck in favor of happiness. I wrote a book called The Blue Zones of Happiness, where I tried to find those, but I also have a cover story in National Geographic that spell out what do statistics actually tell us about how to be happier.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dan. It's a pleasure.
You made me happy.
You make me happy. Thank you.